People who are suffering and struggling the most are going to continue struggling over the next few years. Wonder why? They don't own assets, right? This is why they say the rich get richer. The rich people, the wealthy people of this world, they understand that in order to stay ahead of inflation, you need to own assets. Today I want to talk about assets and investments, so I need you to pay very close attention, all right? This could save and change the trajectory of your life. Technically speaking, an asset could be anything that you own that has value. By definition, an asset is a useful or valuable thing, person, or quality. Here's where most people get shit fucked up at, right? Not all assets are investments. For an asset to be considered an investment, it has to do one or both of these things. It has to appreciate in value over time and or generate cash flow or income. Ideally both. It has to be able to do these things without your direct involvement. All right, this is how wealthy people or rich people get richer while they sleep, right? Their assets are working for them. A lot of people confuse spending money and investing, and they are not the same. Just because you spend money on something expensive, it does not mean that you're investing in anything. Again, just because something is expensive does not make it an investment. Well, here are some examples of terrible purchases that people like to try and justify as investments. One, hair or haircuts. All right, although it may help you look good and feel good, it is not an investment. All right, it doesn't help you generate cash flow, and your haircuts don't appreciate over time. So stop doing that. Next are new phones or new gadgets. All right, unless it's helping you make money, it's not an investment. All right, designer clothes, not an investment. All right, your brand new house, not an investment. New car that you just bought off the lot, not an investment. Vacation that you couldn't really afford, so you put it on the credit card, not an investment. Are all those things inherently bad? No, of course not. But are they investments? Are they helping you build wealth? Fuck no. The reason why all of this shit is important is because all of us are playing the same game. We're trying to fight inflation, taxes, and the rising cost of living, right? We know that we just can't hold our dollars in a bank account or under a mattress because every day, every month, every year, our dollars are losing purchasing power to inflation, right? They're printing more money and putting more money in circulation, which makes the dollars that we're holding much less valuable. We need to store our dollars in assets that have a track record of providing great returns, that have a track record of multiplying and storing our dollars' value, right? The question you have to ask yourself as dollar holders and investors is, what asset class is going to provide me the best return if I hold my dollars here for the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? There's a few asset classes that I want to break down, so take notes, pay attention for this one. So the first asset we have are stocks. Stocks represent ownership in businesses that generally grow over time. Next, we have real estate. Real estate is physical property that generates cash flow and can also appreciate in value. Then we have bonds, right? Bonds are basically loans that we give out to either governments or companies. Then we have gold, right? Gold has been used as a store of value for thousands on thousands of years. We have cash. Cash is safe, cash is liquid, but cash is dangerous because it loses its value over time, especially fiat currency, so our dollars. Our dollars do not hold value, so we have to get rid of them and put them into one of the previous assets I just mentioned. Last, but definitely not least, we have Bitcoin. All right, so let's talk about Bitcoin because it's not just some tech thing that you can afford to look over, right? Bitcoin is the most scarce, the most finite, and the best performing asset the world has ever seen. There's a few reasons why Bitcoin is so special. Here are a few of them. So one, it's the most scarce asset in the world. There are only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created. Only 21. You can't click your finger, you can't press a button and make more of them, right? They are actually scarce. So once the 21 million are up, that's it. Bitcoin is decentralized, which means there's no government, there's no CEO, and there's no company that can shut it down. Bitcoin is permissionless. As long as you have access to the internet, you could use it. There's no third-party banks that you need to go through in order to get Bitcoin, Bitcoin is transparent. Every single transaction that's ever taken place is public and it can be verified on the blockchain. Bitcoin is extremely portable. You can send millions or billions of value across borders with a click of a button. But most importantly, the reason why Bitcoin is special is because since its inception, it's outperformed every single asset class, every single one. It's outperformed stocks, outperformed real estate, outperformed gold, outperformed commodities. Everything you can think of, Bitcoin is outperformed, and by a hell of a margin too. So now you have a decision to make. What asset class are you going to store your dollars in, right? Which asset class is going to hold value the most and multiply the most, right? But before you make your choice, I want you to look up the historical returns of each asset class and figure out which one has performed best over the last 15 years, all right? That should give you your answer, right? That's your homework. If you learned something new or if dots connected, like this, share this with someone else. I'd really appreciate it. I just want to help y'all start thinking like investors and not consumers, right? Investors are the ones who get wealthy and change their families' lives. So I want y'all to have a part of that and experience that for yourself. So until next time, you already know what it is.